when we do this kind of time limitation, now people try to, in their heads, whatever they have, they try to concise it and this, that, and it breaks the chain and somehow the fun is taken away. So just go ahead and keep blabbering whatever you want to.
Yeah.
And Pelu tara boss no naam su Pelu?
Sonam Wangchuk.
Don't be abusive, Baba.
Janice, hi, sorry. I just realized you're here. I just
Hi.
Kem cha, Janice, how are you?
Good. Welcome to the program.
She better be here. She better be here.
Yeah. So I was scrolling the screen and I was like, oh, Janice is here.
Hello, auntie. What is his name?
Sonam Wangchuk. Sonam Wangchuk.
Okay. Okay, we've got a minute to go before Madam comes on. This Chasmanu frame, can it be bigger? Any bigger than this?
Are you? Is it for me? Is that joke?
Yeah, yeah, I'm asking you.
No, I have another bigger one also for this.
MK.
One, I thought this one will be moderate for today.
See, these are the ways I make people get more, what should I say, more nervous. Chalo. Okay, time. Avatar Meher Baba ki jai. Avatar Meher Baba ki jai. Avatar Meher Baba ki jai. Janice, do the prayers, please.
हाँ जी. जय मेहर बाबा. प्रियतम परमात्मा, हमारी ऐसी सहायता कर कि हम तुझसे अधिक का अधिक प्रेम करें और अधिक और फिर भी उससे भी अधिक प्रेम करें जब तक कि हम तुझ में मिलकर एक हो जाने के पात्र बन जाए और तू हम सबकी ऐसी सहायता कर कि हम अंत तक प्रियतम बाबा का दामन दृढ़ता से पकड़े रहे. अवतार मेहर बाबा की जय. अवतार मेहर बाबा की जय. अवतार मेहर बाबा की जय.
Okay. Dear Meher Baba, we'd like you to come and join us for this meeting. Not only join us, Baba, kindly take over the goings on about this meeting so that everything happens as per your will. People have worked around whatever needed to be prepared, and now they will all speak and do as per your wish. Thank you, Baba. Dear friends, I said friends, not Michelle Pavri. You don't have to get it. Okay. Firstly, I'd like to, not announcements, but just say that we are inching closer towards forthcoming Amar Tithi of our beloved Meher Baba. And already the Bombay Center's website has started putting on the messages about that same. And if we can manage, I'll try and have the people put on the Bombay Center's play where Baba's dropping off his body was shown. And that would be a unique thing to watch. not today, someday in future, probably this coming Sunday or Sunday after next. Why I'm saying that is, according to me, this is the only dramatization, call it picturization, whatever, of what happened on that last day when the Lord breathed his last. So those things are very deeply etched in our minds. And Jimmy Khan will be talking about his presence during that period in the next meeting. And for today, we have Michelle Pavri, who's a genius of sorts. She works with a genius also called Sonam Wangchuk. Sonam Wangchuk is the guy on whom this famous Hindi movie, The Three Idiots, was made about. Am I right, Michelle?
Yes, yes.
Am I right? Yeah. So I'd like Michelle to start with how she came to Baba. And then something happened to her across the gate from Kushrubag's colony. And also to talk a little bit about her so-called genius, Mr. Sonam Wangchuk. So over to you now, Michelle. Go ahead.
Jai Mer Baba. Thank
Jai.
you, Samantu. Thank you for
Thank
the
you, Baba.
introduction. Okay, so I'd like to begin with my journey, as Sam Uncle said, and I think firstly I'm very happy to be here, and I'm very happy that I'm speaking alongside with Jimmy Uncle. Jimmy Uncle is like kind of this. I was just telling him Jimmy Uncle is like the stalwart of Baba love, and here I'm still getting into that journey. So I'm really happy to be here. I thought I'll take everyone back 10 years back, where I first started my journey with Baba. I was pretty young, just started with work, bubbling with life about fashion. I was a fashion designer, and one fine day, my cousin, she, comes to me and says, let's plan a trip to Mehrabad. So I asked her, what's in Mehrabad? And she said, it's there's a Mer Baba Samadhi who, my in-laws and my husband's family believes in. So just the understanding at that time of a Baba was very different.
Sorry, Michelle, who's this cousin?
Delna's Masala Wala.
Delna's.
Yeah, yeah. And her husband, Merwan Jamshedian. So it's a Jamshedian family.
Achha.
Yeah. So, so she told me, so my whole understanding at that time about a Baba was quite different. It was more about, I don't want to fall into this whole Baba thing. There were a lot of, Babas cropping up everywhere. And I thought to myself, I'm much better with just the Agyari and, following my belief. And she told me, no, it's really beautiful over there, Michelle, and you'll really like it, and everyone will really have a nice time. And it's almost like a retreat. It's so wonderful. It's in between nature, and she kind of gave me the right points, to sell me on this whole concept of coming to Baba. And I was sold, and I decided that okay, let's all go, and we all went. And yes, the moment I stepped foot in MPR, for me it was like a picnic. I absolutely went to Baba like a picnic. For me, it was, I'll get some great food at the MPR because she had told me there's some great food. And she told me,
Typical Parsi, no? Great
yeah,
food pass, huh?
absolutely. And she was telling me that, it's so serene, and it was gorgeous. And I absolutely loved it. And I thought that, this is it. 2 nights, I'm just going to rest it out, sleep as much as I want. No disturbance. People don't talk much in MPR, which is great. There's silence time, which is even more wonderful. So for me, it was, a complete break, like a retreat. And then she tells me, that the evening aarti has started and we are all going for the aarti. And, I remember telling her, no, I'm okay at MPR. Why don't we all carry on? And she's telling me, Michelle, the walk to the aarti is also very beautiful. And it was almost like, she's trying to lure me into that whole, come, come. And she's like, it's a beautiful walk, right in between the field, and it's a full moon, so you will really enjoy it. So I said, okay, I'll take a little walk, stroll, go to the Samadhi, see what it's all about. And I went. And then everyone was going inside the Samadhi. And I said, I'm not coming inside the Samadhi. I'm okay over here. And she was like, yeah, that's your choice. And then the aarti began and the prayers began, and I was seeing everyone extremely, focused. And I saw Meher Baba's pictures and the whole samadhi. And I said, yeah, I thought to myself, it is really beautiful, but yeah, I mean, this is not something I want to get into for sure. And I was pretty confident about that. And then, the aarti got over, and everyone started singing. Yeah, this was way back before the pandemic when we actually had music, lovely music going on. It seems a little distant now, but it will come back, I'm sure. And at that time, Ted started singing Bob Hole's Ocean of Love. And it was the first time I had heard this song. And there was something in the way he sang it, something in the song that literally compelled me to go inside the samadhi. And I still remember I was standing, wanting to hear the song just more and more and not wanting it to end. And as he was singing, I had these tears from my eyes. And I remember that scene as if it happened yesterday, because I still remember looking at, my mom was around at that time. My mom was around with me. And my cousin was there, dad was there too. And I still remember looking at my cousin and saying, telling her that I'm absolutely fine. I'm absolutely happy in my life. I don't know why I'm crying. I have absolutely no clue what's happening. And it was quite, quite a freaky incident for me, what I experienced at that moment. And there was something that touched me, and I couldn't really understand what it was, but I knew that, this is, some kind of, strange zone I'm in, and I need to come out of it as quickly as possible. I did eventually go in the, in the samadhi and bow my head. So it's almost like, Baba said, you know what, I'll make it happen. And it did. And I went and I left the samadhi feeling this, I left the samadhi feeling very serene. And at the same time, there was a pull. There was a pull to know who this man is. Who is this Baba? Where has he come from? I remember feeling, very zoned out after that song. And that night, I went to the library at MPR and I picked up a couple of books, and I read his books till 4 o'clock in the morning. I couldn't put it down. And so all my plans of, I'm going to sleep and I'm going to rest it out and, it's going to be a retreat just went flying out of the window, because I just wanted to know who Meher Baba was. Cut to 8 years later, I did eventually, I remember having that connect, but I didn't take it forward. And it's true, when they say that there is a time for everything. And I think maybe at that time, I was just not ready. But it's also true when, when Baba says that, you may forget me, but, I'm there. I'm going to be there and I'm going to pull you back. And once I, break the silence in your heart, you're going to come back someday. It's just a matter of time. And this happened to me when, post marriage, I was in Pune and I was having quite a rocky, imbalanced life. And I went back to the Samadhi after about eight to nine odd years. It was a long time. I actually went because I started reading Nan Umrigar's books at that time. And I went there to the Samadhi again. And I remember telling Baba, I'm coming here, after years. And the serenity, the beauty, the same feeling again has come back to me in my heart when I see you and when when I'm in this Samadhi. And it just, made me go back again and think about the first time when I heard Ocean of Love. And I just had one prayer to Baba. Actually two, to be honest, two prayers. The first thing I said was, Baba, can you please change my life? Because I'm so tired of this mundane, sitting in the house, working, just I want something more. I want something more fulfilling. I want, I want to do something more with my life. And just, find me a job, find me work that I can be proud of. Find me, someone who who inspires me to work. And, a month later, I did get a job with who I am working with today. And as Sam Uncle introduced him, he is Sonam Wangchuk. He is based in Ladakh. And it's very uncanny, very odd that a girl sitting from Bombay gets a job working for someone in Ladakh, and that too a Ramon Magsaysay awardee who, is known across the world. And so today, when someone asks me, Michelle, how did you land up with this job? I don't have anything to say to that, because I know that, this is definitely not my doing. And I'm pretty sure that it was Baba who gave me this opportunity and gave me this job. But it's not all that rosy with Baba. That's what I've figured out. So let
Join
me,
the club.
yeah. So just let me break that bubble for everyone right now, just a little bit, just like a little puncture. It's not. I find Baba quite a hard taskmaster, and I have, I have experienced a lot of ups and downs. In fact, I experienced more downs after getting in touch with Baba. And I found that very odd. And I used to find that very strange. That, when I have a master and my life is supposed to be a little easier, why is it just going so downhill? And it kind of reminds me, of this. Of the story that fits quite well with this. So it's almost like, I'm walking on this road, on this path, and I'm walking and I'm walking, and besides me on this path there are these elasticated walls. Okay, so imagine you're on a path and you're walking, and there are these elasticated walls on the side. And then once in a while, when you're walking on the road, on the path, you feel, I want to do something different. Kuch alag chahiye, I want something else. I'm tired and I want to try something different. Or sometimes, you do something that's wrong and, without realizing, or sometimes even with realizing, and you kind of deviate from that road and from that path. And you're pushing against these elasticated walls, and you're pushing and you're pushing, and you've already now gone, beyond the path, and you're still pushing and you're still pushing until one day, you can't push anymore. And what happens? Because it's elasticated, it bounces back. and it bounces back with such a hard force that it pushes you right back on the path. Now, this is what, many people call as karma. And it's not a bad thing, when you go to see it from a bigger perspective. And Baba kind of does that with me. And that's the kind of relationship I have with him, which is a little scary at times. You just kind of feel like, it's almost like I'm scared to deviate from the path now, because I don't know when the elasticated wall will give me a bounce back. And it's a hard bounce because, when you pull an elastic and then it bounces back, it kind of gives you a kind of a jhatka. And that's what happens when Baba pushes you back on the path. He doesn't give it mildly. He actually gives you that punch to kind of get you back in your senses and say, you know what, you need to be on the path. And I just know that the more I've spoken to Baba lovers about this, the more I understand that, this does happen when you are with Baba. And I've spoken to a lot of people, a lot of Baba lovers who have said, yeah, we've had these little Baba bombs, as a lot of them call it, that, like he gives you this lots of love and lots of cushion in the beginning. And then suddenly he'll start giving you this little Baba bomb where, he'll start pushing you back on the path. And I've experienced that in my life. And one of those experiences was, as Sam Uncle was mentioning, it was just outside of Kushrobag, where I stay in Bombay, in the colony. And at that period, and it was the first day of Ganpati. Let me just, it was the whole Ganesh Chaturthi had begun. This was the first day. Everyone was in a complete merriment zone. Maharashtra was full of, flowers and lots of sound and dhol, and Ganpati was coming in all its glory. And I went to the medical shop to get something. And I decided to walk out of the medical shop, and I was standing just outside the medical shop. I was fidgeting and doing something with my phone. And suddenly I hear this loud bang, like loud, huge. And with like almost like, on the ground, and like almost like the ground has shaken up. And all of a sudden, I can't seem to stand properly. So I look down and I see that my entire kneecap has shifted to the side. So basically now I don't have a knee. So there is no knee in my leg. It's gone to the side of my leg. So the whole thing was completely out of its socket. So the impact had hit my leg. And suddenly, just the sight of that knee, just being shifted to the right side, like completely to the edge of the leg, freaked me out. And I was like in tears, and I was screaming because I just didn't know how to stand or sit. I didn't know what to do. And then, there were some really kind people who came along and just made me sit, have a glass of water. And I'm trying to frantically reach my mom, and she's busy on some other call. And then I'm trying to reach my dad, and he's not picking up. And I just had no clue what to do. And suddenly all around me, and I was like in terrible dire pain because the whole thing had shifted out of the socket. And I still remember there was suddenly a big crowd around me. So I was already, nervous, and I already didn't know what to do. And in my head, I'm thinking to myself that I'm not even going to get a doctor because it's Ganesh Chaturthi, who's going to treat me, amidst this whole thing, and how will I even go to the doctor with this leg? And suddenly I see this whole crowd around me, and for 1 minute, I just shut my eyes because I was in so much pain, and I loudly, like I've never done this before, and I loudly cried, "Baba, help me," and I still think about that, and I still get emotional about it because I still remember how I felt when I called out with full force and full strength of my voice in the midst of everyone. I said, "Baba, help me, just help me. I need help." And suddenly, almost like this, dramatic Hindi film, Bollywood film. No, Baba didn't come. Don't worry. It's not that dramatic. But suddenly, almost from nowhere, came this guy in a white shirt and normal trousers, very simple, coming and saying, "Koi baat nahi, main theek kar dunga." And I'm looking at him and I'm thinking to myself, you are not Baba. I called out to Baba, and you are some guy from the road coming and telling me, "Main sab theek kar dunga." And I didn't know whether I should trust him. And he told me, I'm a bone setter. And he's like, "I'll fix it." And I was thinking to myself that, I don't know this guy. I mean, should I trust him because it's my leg? And, this guy just suddenly comes and says, "I'll fix it for you." And at that time, I thought that, what option do I have? What choice do I have? And, I might as well just go with it. And I remember this wonderful lady, like that was literally Baba sent, because she just came, she stopped her car in between when she saw a crowd around me. She parked her car and she came and she held my hand. She stuffed a handkerchief in my mouth because she knew that it could pain when he set it back. And the guy, like a complete professional, he holds my leg, pulls it a little bit, and in one shot pushes the entire knee back into its socket. And I screamed, and the handkerchief flew out of my mouth. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, what just happened? Like, is this all a dream, or am I actually living it? Because this is right on the road in front of so many people. And suddenly this bone setter, he massages my foot like vigorously, and he's like, "Ho gaya, ho gaya." And I'm like, this is like insane, like how did this even happen? I mean, who would have imagined? And he doesn't tell me anything. He just gives me an oil and he says, just keep using this. And I'm so focused on my leg at that time that I didn't pay attention to anything else, what he was saying. And I'm telling that lady, "Can you please try my mother? Can you please call my mom or call my dad?" And she was trying. And then they reached, my mom did pick up the phone, and, they came rushing to the spot. And by the time I could even say thank you to this man, he was gone. Like he was gone. And I still get goosebumps, when I think about this incident, because it almost makes me feel that, Baba does sometimes throw you in the deep waters, and you feel that you're alone, and, and you're swimming, and, you may not be able to swim any longer. And then he tells you that, when you surrender to me, and when you leave everything to me, I dare not, care not. And that kind of, has always stuck in my head, because I know that if I'm in trouble ever, and a trouble this major, I will call out to him. I will, just reach out to him and ask him for help. And this incident and episode kind of, made me build my faith. It made me build faith that I don't need to leave his daman, and I need to hold on, because I am going to go through choppy waters. Every time I leave the path, the elasticated walls are going to push me back, but he's going to be there. And when I call out to him and when I leave it to him, he's not going to leave me. He is going to pull me out of it. The interesting part was that after that incident, immediately a friend of mine and my mom and dad, we all rushed to the doctor, and we did get a doctor, a very good orthoped who was there. And he told us to come to the hospital, and he saw my leg and he said, "Of course, there are damages, the tissues must have been damaged, and, blah, blah, blah." And he said, "But whoever's done this job has done a very good job." And I thought to myself that, it definitely was Baba sent. It cannot be that, from somewhere, this bone setter comes and decides to put my knee back completely accurately, without me having to undergo any sort of surgery. Um, I just want to, I just want to tell, everyone who's looking here today and who's seeing and hearing my story, that Baba is not going to make things rosy. And I have understood this from my journey. So if you're, I know there are many who have already understood that way before me, and many who may have joined Baba recently and who may have come under his wing recently, maybe feeling that, what is she talking about? But it is true that it's not going to be rosy. It's sometimes quite difficult, because he does expect his disciples and his lovers to love him unconditionally, no matter the situations that he puts them in. And but at the same time, he's there, and he's not going to throw you so hard that you will not be able to come back up. And he's going to want you to hold on to him the way he's holding on to you. And somewhere that is the real test of the love that you have for your master at the end of the day. And I think that I just feel that I am fortunate that in this lifetime I got a chance to be with this master. And no matter how tough it has been for me, and I know it's tough for a lot of people out there who are Baba lovers, I just feel that I'm safe and I'm in the right hands, and I'll be protected when I need him. So I just want to send out that message today that he's watching us and he's watching over. And yeah, I think I've spoken quite a bit. So
Hey, Michelle.
yeah.
Now the funny incident where you visited the Bombay Center and the door was locked, and let's put a bit of humor in it.
Yeah. So
Kind of freaked you out, right?
yeah. So this is so yeah, so cut to just recently, I think what, some uncle 2 years back, 3 years back or something, just before the pandemic.
Yeah, I'll just give a short background. You see, what had happened was I had landed at the center and the center was locked. I didn't have the keys. So I was sitting quietly on the staircase, having a cigarette. And in walks this madam, Pavri. And now go on.
Yeah, so I don't expect seeing anyone. It's dark at the because the center was shut and the doors was closed, and I come out of the lift and Sam uncle is very silently sitting on the staircase. You can't see him because he's sitting on the other side of the staircase. And it's really funny. Anosh, you're welcome. I did see your message, sorry. Yeah, so it's really funny that I came from the lift and I'm seeing that the doors to the Bombay Center is shut, and I'm thinking, oh, I can't I can't go inside, but I'll wait for some time. And whilst I was waiting, I was I kind of put my head on the door and I was silently praying, and I was praying to Baba, and suddenly I hear this voice, hello, and I freak, like I think, and like in my head I'm thinking, is it so real that Baba can and I'm in shock, okay, and I quickly turn around to see, and then I suddenly see Sam uncle very casually smoking away, looking at me and saying hello, and I'm like, Sam uncle, you really freaked me out. Next time at least let me know that you're sitting there when I'm praying, so that I know. But yeah, that was really funny, and I think Sam uncle and I have laughed immensely.
Many times, yeah.
Yeah, and many times on this joke. So yeah, that was something really funny. But yeah. So Sam uncle, thank you for today.
No. You're not going to get away so easily. Now tell us something about your working with Sonam Wangchuk, if you'd like.
Yeah. So okay, so I don't know how many of y'all have seen Three Idiots. I suppose a lot of people must have. Three Idiots is basically on this character. Amir Khan plays this character of Funsuk Wangdu, and I think the whole thing about all is well, which of course the real man does say. He does say it. Sonam Wangchuk does say this a lot. Amir Khan played this character, and he's shown as this genius, who kind of solves problems and is trying to change the way education works in his own right. And his character was inspired by the person I work for today, and that's Sonam Wangchuk. Sonam Wangchuk is based in Ladakh. He's an innovator. He's an educationalist, and he has reformed the way education is done in Ladakh, and now he's planning to take it to India. So not only that, but besides that, he's a complete environmentalist. So he's out there fighting climate change. And he won the Ramon Magsaysay Award for his innovation, which was the ice stupa. The ice stupa being a kind of a conical kind of a shaped structure, like a big ice mountain, that provides water to nearby villages in Ladakh when the summer seasons in Ladakh start and there is drought in various villages because of the climate change. And it's interesting to see that in Ladakh, they are fighting climate change very closely. It's people in the cities today, we don't know the effects of what climate change is bringing, but they are dealing with it almost every day because glaciers are melting, and they need there are flash floods because of that. And we are sitting pretty in Bombay, Delhi, Bangalore, completely oblivious to what's really happening over there. So the main motto that he lives by, Sonam, is that there needs to be some sort of empathy in life, some sort of empathy to change things that are not working, that are not doing good for humanity. And he's starting from Ladakh because that's where he was born. That's his roots, and he's big on being part of his roots. So it has been a very fruitful journey for me working with this man for 5 years now. And honestly, I can't thank Baba enough for it. I do believe that it was a God-sent job for me because I needed something home-based from Bombay where I could look after my son. And at the same time, I wanted to work for someone who inspires me literally every day. And when I hear the things that he talks about, when I hear about his sense of ethics, I just know that, Baba has kept me with a boss that, will kind of guide me correctly and not let me deviate from the path and go towards the elastic walls. So I made quite a few lifestyle changes myself after coming in touch with Sonam, with my boss, because I realized that every thing that we do out here in the city, every change that we make, actually helps defeat climate change, and it helps protect the environment. So it may be very small for us, for someone to say I'm vegetarian, but for me, being a Parsi and loving my meat, I actually took the plunge of becoming vegetarian, was because I understood, the impact that climate change is having in the world today, and the carbon emission that goes on when you actually eat meat, and what are the effects of it on the world. And it may be a small thing for a lot of people, but collectively, if we all follow a more plant-based diet, it could actually help the world. Similarly, there are a lot of other things, where you live a more minimalistic lifestyle. You travel more by, public transport, rather than take out, your own car, or, you carpool more. So these are basic, simple lifestyle changes, which he taught me. And of course, they are doing it in a big way in Ladakh. And that is what the world is getting inspired by, that this little place, at the top of, in the Himalayas, which is completely, it's almost like, it looks like Mars. Actually, if you see it zoomed out, it looks like a different planet, but it's actually part of our country. And this place is kind of starting the change, and we need to support it. And it just makes me understand that, Baba lived a very simple life himself. And he believed in that simplicity, which my boss believes in. So my boss probably owns 3 pairs of shirts and 3 pairs of trousers and 2 pairs of shoes. And that's how he travels everywhere. He's not ashamed of, not having more. He doesn't own a luxurious car. They live in mud buildings over there, solar heated buildings, which of course he has invented himself. So it kind of my job kind of reflects on Baba's teachings of, how you need to be simple in life. Of course, I've not been able to be that simple, as I still shop, and I still like the small luxuries of life. But yeah, I just feel that Baba has kept me on the right path, and I'm trying to do whatever it takes. So yeah, Sam, uncle.
If I may say so, Michelle,
Yeah.
Baba has this unique way of
Yeah.
starting off things in a very small measure in a very remote corner of the world.
Yeah.
And then it
branches out.
trickles down, and then it bursts into all over the place.
Yeah.
And this reminds me of an incident. There was this guy called Eric Nadal. Erico, we called him. I don't know. Michelle, did you know him? Erico?
No.
Very intelligent guy. He used to do the night duties at the Samadhi. He specialized in that. I mean, besides other things that he also looked up, cared with Apra Allen for Muhammad the Mast and stuff like that. He also was a mathematical genius. He is the one responsible for formulating that thing on the memorial tower. There is that crystal thing. He is the one who formulated that for Ted Judson. So that's his background. So one day when he was on this night duty, he just felt like attending a nature's call. So he went and relieved himself. And as he was washing his hands, suddenly on the floor, he sees a long convoy of miniature cars and trucks and tanks and all those kind of things passing by. The kind of a thing. And he just wondered as to what is all this about. And the next day, the papers come out with break open the story that Saddam Hussein had invaded Kuwait. So that invasion was miniaturized and shown to Eric Nadal at that Samadhi meeting. So, my dear Michelle, whatever small little things that we think of are his ways of introducing it and reforming the society. Because like he has said, I've come not to teach, but to awaken. So this is the kind of awakening that the master works at. Unheard, unseen. Most of the people in the world don't even know who Meher Baba is all about. And yet, these small kind of reforms happen, for which Sonam Wangchuk is used as a media, and then you are his secretary, so you are doing it. And another important thing is, amongst this whole gambit of Sonam Wangchuk, there is a Baba lover present who is instrumental in doing things. So, you need to have this kind of perception to feel all these things. I mean, one can easily shrug off and say, oh, what the hell, it's just another job and she is doing this and that fellow is mad and he is doing this and that and it's not going to change the world, and all like how people brush things aside. But no, if you are sensitive towards Baba, then you can feel it. Okay, yes, this is how he makes, gives things a push start, a beginning, and then it blows up. So I'm very glad that you came down and spoke to us. Nothing ever happens without his wish. That is one thing for sure. And today it was his wish that you should come on and tell us about all these things. So next time when you go to the center and the door is locked, be very careful. There may be demons like me hanging around. Thank you very much, Michelle.
Thank you
And
so much, Samant.
before you sign off, I'd like to throw it open for anybody who'd like to ask any questions.
Oh.
Come on, folks, this is the only time you can fire. Archana Grover raised hands. Yes, Archana, go ahead, darling.
Jai Baba Michelle, it was really enlightening listening to you. But I had a question. Have you introduced your boss to our boss?
That's a wonderful question, Archana. So, Sonam knows about Meher Baba because I often take leave for
Okay.
coming to the Samadhi, and I do tell him that I believe in Meher Baba and I'm going to his Samadhi. So he tells me that you take your time. He doesn't question me for it, and I have
Okay.
definitely told him a couple of times now that Sonam, one day I would like to take you as well. And I'm hoping that when he is in Maharashtra next, in the coming years, and if God willing, I'm still with him, I will definitely bring him to the Samadhi. I do hope to do that. Yeah.
That'd be a very nice thing to do.
Yes.
Very nice thing to do.
Thanks.
Because the man would have earned his trip to Meher Baba.
He has, Samant. You're absolutely right. The man has earned it. Yeah.
Okay, Dilshad Kapadia, come in.
Jai Baba Michelle.
Jai Baba Dilshad.
Great to hear you. When I heard your name, I thought it was a foreigner who has married a Parsi.
Okay. No, I'm Parsi. Yeah.
Would you be kind enough to let us know a little bit more about the nature of your work with Sonam Wangchuk, in the sense he was here in Bombay and doing things?
Yeah.
So, in terms of marketing or advertisement for him?
Yeah. So Dilshad, I'm Sonam's EA, so basically executive assistant. I handle all his operations outside of Ladakh. So so he gives a lot of motivational talks, a lot of inspirational talks to clients across the world. So corporates, schools, colleges. So I handle that entire piece. So right from the commercials to the finances to all the topic of the talk, the theme, dealing with clients across the world, different corporates, and his social media presence. all his emails, his travel schedules. So yeah, it's all that can be done remotely, which is a very good thing for me. And I am the only employee that is based outside of Ladakh. So this has to be only Baba. That's what I can think of.
Michelle, before I finish, there was perhaps just one Freudian slip that you had when you said he's working in Ladakh and trying to take it to India. Ladakh is very much a part of
Sorry, of course, no. I meant that he's working in Ladakh and he's trying to bring it to the cities in the country. But thank you.
Jai Baba. Thank you.
Hey, Baba.
Anybody else? Any questions?
Yeah, Michelle, you were away for 8 years. Did your cousin not broach you or talk to you about why are you away, something like that?
No, actually, we didn't have, honestly, Jimmy Uncle, we didn't have that connect where we would talk about Meher Baba after that. I got married then, and then I shifted to Pune, so the connection was even more lost. And yeah, it never really happened that she again probed and told me, go to Mehrabad. It never really happened, though I knew that she was very much in touch with Baba. But I do believe, Jimmy Uncle, that maybe it was not at that right time where I just needed to dwell deep into Baba the way I am today. So yeah, but I am forever grateful to her that she introduced me, because without her and her husband's family, I don't think I would have ever been introduced to Baba.
Michelle, I would like to ask you, if it's not too personal,
Yeah.
as to what really gave you the conviction that Baba is God in human form. I mean, we all know he is very good and he helps and he does this and he does that and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But to be convinced within yourself that he is God in human form is something entirely different.
Yeah. Yeah. So Sam Uncle, that's actually another story. And I don't want to, take up too much time. And
No, don't worry. Don't worry about time.
and
He is a very patient guy.
Yeah. Sam Uncle, it is a little personal, but I will touch on it a little bit. So I have, I have dreamt about Baba.
Now we are talking.
And I asked him a question, and he answered it in my sleep. And he answered it himself in my dream when I was sleeping one night. I still remember it was the 8th of May. I remember the date. I woke up in a complete cold sweat, and I just knew that he is God in human form.
Wow.
Yeah. So I don't want to dwell too much.
No, that's okay. That's perfectly all right.
But yeah, it was extremely sacred for me, and that's the time I knew that I'm with an entity that's definitely God. It's not anyone else. Yeah.
Jimmy and I know of a friend who was very ill and a lot of things were happening to him, and then he challenged, if Baba, if you're God, and then at that particular moment in the middle of the night, the phone rang and something happened which he never revealed, but he said that was the thing that gave him the conviction.
Yeah.
So Baba has his own ways of drawing you to him and then making you his.
Sure.
Making you his. And if ever we are under this illusion that I am loving Meher Baba, we are sadly mistaken. It is he. It is he and his love that has pulled us through all this while. I'm talking about myself. Without him, I don't know where, in which of the Bombay gutters I would be landing up. Honest to God. So thank you very much, Michelle. And the lesson
So much.
that comes through is, let us be determined to be his. That's what Iraj Jasawala used to say. Let's be determined to be his. And of course, cling on to his daman with both our hands,
Absolutely.
because one hand is not enough. It's a very slippery garment.
Yeah.
And anybody else wants to ask anything? This was a beautiful session. Okay, Mr. Jamsetji Khan.
Thank you so much, Sam uncle.
Thank you, Meher Baba.
Jai
Nobody
Baba.
else.
Jai Baba.
Nobody else but Meher Baba.
Jai Baba. Thank you. Thank you.
And hello, Michelle, before you run away,
Yes.
one of these days, bring your friend also to this forum and have a talk.
I will. I will
Ah,
ask. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Meher. Thank you.
Arwala says, lovely Michelle Baba, blessings to you and your family.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
Jai Baba.
Thanks.
Awo Jamsetji, Medan Mao.
Yeah, before I start, Sam, the cousin she's talking about, her husband Merwan is the owner of Chiquita near Rigal.
Correct.
And
Oh.
this belonged to his father, Farokh Hirani.
Ah, that fellow who used to come with us to the bus.
And he unfortunately died last week.
Who, Farokh?
Yes,
Yes,
Farokh
yes.
died last week. I believe he had COVID and he passed away.
Hey, Baba.
Yes, so I thought I'll connect the dots for you.
Yes.
He was my favorite smoking partner. Every time we went by bus, him and I would quietly slip away in a corner and lagao damadam, you know.
And he was the one who fell down on Amar Tithi.
Yes. And we took him to.
Took him to the hospital. Yeah. So now you know the connect. Okay.
I have not seen the son. I have never met.
Okay.
Rita Kohli says, wonderful story, dear. Baba bless you. See,
Thank you. Thank
Michelle,
you.
you're getting so many blessings now.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, Jimmy.
Thank you. Bye. I'm going to rush to pick up my son.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay. Jai Baba, everyone. Today I'm going to talk to you about the history of Merazad Mandli Hall. I've read about it at length and I remember quite a bit, but in this very edition of Glow magazine on page 2, there's a full one-page article that Sam talked about last Thursday, written by Iraj Jasawala. So here we go. Janice, can you show the slide which is outside of the Mandli Hall?
Yes.
Okay, but this is a little off. This is the garden part. Anyway, I wanted to show you the other side, the front part, but nevertheless, keep it. We'll continue. Now, let us go to very early days. In the very early days, Baba used to sit outside the door of the Mandli Hall today, in today's context, outside the door of the Mandli Hall, where today we have the porch. Now, in those days, there was no porch. And in those days, there was not the Mandli Hall. So Baba would sit with his men Mandli under a tree in the open with the elements. Baba would sit either on a stool or a bench or on a chair, whatever. And the men Mandli would surround him kind of in a horseshoe or a circle on a tarpaulin on the ground. And this is how, and this is where in the early days, the deliberations took place. Now, deliberations in the sense, maybe something like a forthcoming tour or must tour or whatever it could be, Blue Bus Tour or New Life, etc., etc. So it happened in front of the Mandli Hall where the porch is. Now one day, Baba goes and no, sorry. Now let's go back. Let's to the beginning of the Mandli Hall itself. There was no hall as such, and it was just an empty space. And Elizabeth had gifted Baba a Chevrolet car, a very lovely, very pricey, huge, almost semi-luxury car. Now you got to park this car. And there was one more car. So Baba suggested that these cars be parked here. Hence the gate. The gate that we see today was a gate for a place for cars to be parked. So these two cars were parked there. They were made kacha walls on all three sides, just blank walls. That's it. And the car would enter from this gate, and the cars would be parked there. Now comes the New Life. Now during New Life, everything was sold off. Everything was sold off, including Merazad, including these two cars. So these two cars were also sold off, and there's nothing there. It was a lying vehicle. And then in 51, Baba comes back to Merazad after New Life, and someone gives Baba a filly, and Baba names it
Shiba.
Shiba. Thank you, son. Baba names it Shiba, and this is now used as a stable for Shiba. Now, there's the Shiba in this stable. On the ground, there is hay for Shiba to eat. They hired a groom to groom Shiba, to brush Shiba, etc., etc. So this was used as a stable for Shiba. Now, after a while, it was difficult to maintain Shiba because you got to feed Shiba, you got to look after it, have it examined, medical, etc., etc. You have to have a groom to look after Shiba. So this became a little pricey, and Shiba was given away to the Pune military. And the military guys at Pune, they looked after Shiba very well. They were riding it. But before that, Mera was riding Shiba. Mera had great love for horses. She was riding when her father was alive. Then after her father passed away, when they were in Pune, they had a white horse. This is all part of history where Mera would ride that white horse. So coming to Merazad, Mera would ride this Shiba, etc. Now Shiba is gone. The stable is vacant for a very long time. Now one day it so happens that Baba sits in this place. I'll just call it a place. Baba sits in place on a soap box. Now today's generation will say, what's this soap box? In the early days, for the wholesalers, soap used to come in a box, in a crate-like thing. And thereafter, soap box was used for a number of things. And I presume that the groom used this soap box to stand up on it and groom the horse, Shiva. I suppose that's why it was lying there. So Baba sits on this soap box, and he calls the man Mandli. And the man Mandli sits on hay. They literally sat on hay. It was just a stable, so there was nothing else they could sit on. And they thought that this was just one of things that Baba is sitting on. Sorry, one of things that Baba is sitting in this place on a soapbox. But sure enough, the next day, the third day, the fourth day, Baba kept calling his man Monday. They were sitting in this situation. Then they realized that Baba meant business, and they were sitting in this place. So they started sitting on gunny bags, just plain gunny bags. And then after some time, the maggots got in, the worms got in, and a lot of things happened. And over a period, they realized they're going to be there for some time. So the Mandi said, Baba, is it okay if we get rid of this hay? because in cold winter it's cold, in hot it's very hot. So can we please remove this hay? Baba said, okay, go ahead and remove the hay. So the hay is removed, but it is still a ground. Please understand there's a difference between ground and floor. There's no floor, there's ground. So they're sitting on the ground and with Baba, and this became Baba's office. They started calling it their office because all the deliberations took place in this place, like reading the meal that came, then preparing for programs and plans and tours and whatever you have. So everything was deliberated with a man monthly in this, you call it hall, you call it room. There was no hall and no room in those days. But nevertheless, so they started calling it the office. Now comes Harry Kenmore. Most of you may have heard of Harry Kenmore. Harry Kenmore was visually handicapped, means a blind person. He was a chiropath. Chiropath is a bone setter, not exactly a bone setter, but chiropath is Madiwala. You all have heard of Madiwala. Madiwala was a chiropath. But in the West, chiropaths are between physiotherapist and a doctor, orthopedic. I repeat, a chiropath is between physiotherapist and an orthopedic surgeon or orthopedic doctor, whatever. So they kind of manipulate bodies. They kind of twist your bodies and turn your bodies and correct your bodies and whatever to bring it in shape, basically. So he was a chiropath and he was a Baba lover from New York. He came to Baba, he came to Merazat 13 times, 1-3. A blind man coming all over from New York. He would catch a flight, come to Bombay. At Bombay, someone would receive him, one of the monthly would receive him, take him to Pune. Either from Pune, they took him to Adi's office in Nagar, and Adi in his car would bring him to Merazat. So that's how he came 13 times to Merazat. So the first time he came, he was taken to this place. Now, I said he was visually handicapped, but he felt the ground rough. So he's asking the Monday, what's this? What's this? Referring to the ground. And the Monday said, well, this is it. This is the ground. And this blind man says, sorry to use the term, this visually handicapped man says, in this Baba's fold, in this Lord's house, you have a ground. You don't have a floor here. So the Mandi said, why don't you tell Baba about it? You know, Mandli would invariably use the other routes to convey thoughts to Baba because maybe Baba won't listen to them. So this was a nice route to use. So they are telling Harry, why don't you tell Baba? So Harry tells Baba, what is this? You don't have a nice floor here? So Baba said, okay, have a floor. Now comes what is floor. We are all Indians. We are born and bred in India, so we understand it better. You know, in our Parsi Gujarati, we say lipili jamin. Lipili jamin means cow dung, cow urine. They make a slurry out of it, and they just spread it on the ground. They spread it on the walls. So this was the flooring, but it was better than the gravel and the stones and just plain ground. So the ground becomes kind of a makeshift flooring. That is it. This is all it was. Then another thing was that then one day Baba said, we need to have a door here. Now we got to mentally imagine in your mind's eye that all three sides are plain walls, short walls, but all these sides are plain walls. And if Baba had to call his Mandli, maybe he would clap or whatever it is. The Mandli have to go all around, come to the gate, and through the gate they enter and would sit down. So Baba said, if we have a door here, where we have this green door, if you have this door here, you can come in quickly because all the men stayed not this side where you see, but they stayed on the other side. So it was easy ingress for the Mandli to come in. So that's how the door comes in. Now Veras writes in Glow magazine that when Baba was away, some windows were brought from Chor Bazaar or whatever it is in Ahmednagar, and they were fixed. So there were odd and even windows. So the windows came up. Then when Baba was there, the Mandli said, Baba, we need to do the wall, we need to plaster the wall. So the plaster comes up. Then they said, Baba, the roof is too low, it's very hot. Please permit us to lift the roof. So from a makeshift roof, proper roof comes up, but a little higher. So this is how gradually, yes, then the Parsi gentleman comes from Bombay in those days, and he brings a chair. So now Baba sits on a chair and the soap box is out. Then coming back to Dr. Kenma, I told you was a chiropractor, and he would bring with him a contraption. All chiropractors use a contraption where they put the patients. It's kind of something like a bed, but it's not a bed. They put the patient on that contraption, and they bend and twist and yes, okay, evolution of Mandli Hall. That's a better word. So they put the patient on that contraption, and then they twist the body and break the body and whatever it is. So he had brought on one of his trips, he had brought this contraption, which was brought into the Mandli Hall, and Baba was placed on that. The idea was to teach the men Mandli, how to help Baba with this kind of, let's call it exercises, bending body, etc. So he brought this contraption, he left it with Baba, and this was brought here, and Baba was made to sleep on it, and he taught the men Mandli how to help Baba with the exercises. So this was one form of helping Baba. The other thing he said was, Baba, you need to exercise more. Your problem is basically because you are not doing any exercise. One can understand he had broken his limb so many times, his femur and his hip bone, etc. So it was difficult. So then he said, Baba, you should cycle. If you cycle, it will help your bones, it will help your hip, it will help your femur, etc. Now Baba can't cycle in the area that you see. So what was done was a kind of a contraption was made on which the cycle rested. And this was dug, I repeat, this was dug in the Mandli Hall. The contraption was dug in the Mandli Hall, and Baba was helped very, very carefully. Baba was helped to sit on this cycle and ride. And gradually, Baba improved because he was doing cycling as well. Now bringing Baba to the Mandli Hall. I'm using the word Mandli Hall, still it is not Mandli Hall. Maybe it is by now. So Baba was brought from the porch that you see into the Mandli Hall. Now there was a lift chair. You all have seen what is a lift chair. So the 4 locals from Merazad would be called, and these 4 locals would lift Baba from the porch, and they would lift him and take him to the Mandli Hall. At 12:15, when Baba retired again for lunch, etc. This man would be clapped and called. They would take him back. So Baba would visit Mandli Hall twice a day. Once would be, let's say, from 9 to 12, and then from roughly 2:15 to 4 o'clock. So both the times was, no, I don't think. Harry never wrote any songs. Maybe some other Harry. So twice a day, Baba would come, sit in this Mandli room. The men would be gathered there, and then the office work would start, like reading the telegrams, all the mail that came, and also preparing for trips and tours and whatever. If people came who were invited, Baba would see that person in this Mandli hall. Then there would be people who would say, like Gajwani would say, Baba, I would like you to listen to this Kawal. He's very good. He's very, very good. Baba would say, okay, bring him on. So this Kawal and Ghazal players, they would come and they would sing and perform, give performance over there. So those performances were held there. And this kind of, a lot of activities happen. Now, as I said earlier, only men Mandli came and sat with Baba. But there were two exceptions. Mani, Baba's sister, and Dr. Goher. So for any reason, Mani was to be called. There was a bell. There was a bell in the Mandli hall. So if Baba signaled that call Mani, one ring would be made, one jing, and the women Mandli would hear and say, Mani, Mani, Baba Bolaves, Mani, Baba Bolaves. So Mani would walk fast and come to Baba. And if there were two bells, if there were two rings, that means go ahead for some medical consultation or whatever it is. So if there were two bells, then they would say, go ahead, Baba Bolaves, jaldi ja, jaldi ja. So go ahead would come. So these two ladies were exceptions, and therefore they would come to Baba. So the question is, did everyone speak in Gujarati with Baba? Now it depends. Since we are on Mandli Hall, since we are on deliberations, we can talk about the language as well. Now, please understand that everything depends upon who is with Meher Baba. To give you a live example, when we sat with Baba in the Mandli room at Guru Prasad in Pune, almost all of us were Parsis, Iranis. We were all Babas. So at that point of time, all the deliberations were in Gujarati. Baba would dictate in Gujarati and we would respond, we would talk in Gujarati. So the language was Gujarati. But if suppose like Khildanis and Dr. whoever, and if there were non-Parsis, then the deliberations would shift either to Hindi or to English. So I have been a witness to deliberations happening either in Gujarati or Hindi or English. So that explains the languages. Now, if a letter is opened, and if the letter came from a Parsi or a Zoroastrian, Irani, whoever, and if the letter is written in Gujarati, then automatically the deliberations will shift to Gujarati. If the letter was written in Hindi, it was read out before Baba, then Baba's response would be in Hindi and English, etc., etc. So it depends on the topic and who is around Baba. So this happened. And the programs. Now I have been fortunate enough to be with Baba in this Mandli hall once. Yes, all the times I met Baba in Guru Prasad in Pune, but once it was Meramai's birthday. And a lot of women were called, Parsi women, and women were called to be part of Meramai's birthday. Excuse me. Yeah, Janice, you can shift to the other slides in turn. Yeah. So I have seen Baba in this very chair. I will not go into that story because that's a different story altogether. And my mother has said, where you see this flower pot, my mother had sat here, and you see Baba's feet, Baba's feet, golden imprint. This is where my sister Bepsi sat. So we have a photograph of mom sitting here and Bepsi sitting next to mom. This is when it was Meramai's birthday. So I happened to see Baba during this time. This story can be told some other time. Okay, then let's come to the cushions and the carpet. Now, initially, as I explained to you, the ground was raw. Maybe you can, by now you can say floor, but the kind of carpets that you see were not in the early days. The carpets did come about during Baba's time as well, because when I saw Baba in the 60s, there were carpets on the floor. But as Eres writes, in those days there were no cushions, and so gradually the cushions came as Babalaos kept coming. And now we see rows of frames and paintings and murals and whatever. In early days there were no frames and there were no paintings, etc. So they also came in later. So this is how the Manli Hall developed during Baba's time. Now Baba drops his body, and as I've read, as I understand, Baba's body was brought from his room in the cottage, and for some hours, Baba's body was kept here in the Manli Hall, because people came from Arangaon, Pimpalgaon, people came from Nagar, people came from Pune. So Baba's body was taken to Mehrabad late evening. So for some hours, Baba's body rested here in this Manli Hall. So this is where Baba's body was also kept. Now thereafter we started going to Mehrabad and Mirazat from 69 onwards. And now let's talk about the porch. The porch came up in 71.
Jimmy, sorry to interrupt. Before you leave the Manli Hall, there are two things I would like to mention. One is that the wall, like Eera Jasawala says in that article, is a kacha wall. It's not a proper wall. He says if you punch through it, it would go through. So that is number one. And number two, during Baba's days, he didn't allow them to paint it. He said, why? There'll be so much of stink and you've got so many years, 700 years to paint it. So just leave it be. So these are the two things that didn't happen during that time. Go ahead, sorry.
Yes, I'm leaving it open after I finish. For the others can also contribute about the Manli Hall, like
Right.
you did. I want the others also to come in. If they know something else beyond what I've said, I want them to also to speak up. Okay, the gate I talked about all the time. This is the gate that you see. I'm referring to this gate. Now something I didn't tell you was that our buses and our cars enter Merazat through the side, right? Through the side. But during Baba's time, the green gate that we see, everybody knows about the green gate. The green gate that we see, people when they came by car, they would honk. Like Adi or whoever came, they would honk and someone would run to the green gate and open the gate and the car would come in. And somewhere here, the car would stop. And Baba would get down, the women Manli would get down, and then Baba would be taken in his cottage or in the Manli Hall, etc., etc. So the furniture also that you see today is part of the development of the Manli Hall. Okay, so after Baba's passing, we come to the foyer outside. There was no foyer. There was no shade that we see today. There were no benches, there were no chairs, there were no tables. So this came about in 71 because people started coming, the Westerners started coming, the Easterners started coming. We from Mumbai started going. And I remember that we carried dried lunch, which the MPC gave us. I say MPC, I'm talking about pre-2006. So MPC gave us in tokeries dry lunch. So on this outside foyer, we would sit and have our lunches on table, etc. Then Eraj and Mani and Katie and the others, they started giving talks in this Manli Hall. And there would be two sessions. the morning session, and then there would be a break for lunch. Maybe at 1 o'clock, the bell would ring, lunchtime, lunchtime. So we would all go out, have our lunch, and at 3 o'clock, there would be bell for tea, and we would have a tea, and then we would come back again and take our sits and uh, money, or someone would give talks on Baba and their deliberations about their being with Baba. So this is how I've seen Mirazad Hall after Baba's dropping his body. Then sadly the Mangli also went one after the other. And then now there are no talks there. I doubt if anyone gives talks. At 12 o'clock, the bell rings and we have to leave Mirazad. But we can still see the place, and Devana is around. Devana was Irachi's, you can call her PA or understudy, whatever. So Devana explains to us about Baba's life and her life with Irach, and how she heard Irach and how she learned from Irach so many things. I'm not too sure. Well, last 2 months we have not gone to Mirazad, but I'm not too sure if till the end Devana was giving talks about history of Baba and history of Mirazad, and mostly the Mandli people. So this is how we talk about. Yes, I beg your pardon. Sorry, Yasmin. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I had it, but I skipped it. After Erach's passing, it was Merwan, Erach's younger brother, Merwan, who would give talks about his being with Baba, the Jasawala family being with Baba, Papa Jasawala being with Baba, his mother Gaima being with Baba, and overall stories of their family with being Baba. Thank you, Yasmin. So this by and large is okay. Now I want to throw this session open for others. If they can think of something about Mandli Hall, please restrict to Mandli Hall. Restrict to Mandli Hall, because other issues will take later on. It's 7:55, 6:55, sorry. Yeah, I did say Raj and money. I did talk about it. So if someone has to contribute, see, we can only grow richer in our learning if people, if they know, if they have read, if they have witnessed, they can please, like Sam did, they can please speak up. So Sam, give 5 minutes to if someone wants to speak up.
Surely, sure, Jimmy.
Yeah, please contribute, please. Or if you have heard someone saying. Yeah, talking about this this basin, or whatever you call it, on Baba's left. There are talks that sometimes Baba would wash his hands. Baba would wash his hands and he would rise and do the prayers. He would himself partake in the prayers. So this is the basin that Baba used to wash his hands. Under the basin, you see Baba's chappals. Now, whenever I explain the Mandli Hall, when I'm there in the Mandli Hall, I make people understand to look at these chappals. If you look at these chappals, this is post Baba's accidents. I repeat, this is post Baba's accidents because of the accidents before his femur and his thigh bone, etc., being shattered. Baba's one foot became short. You know, in those days, the science was not so advanced. Today, your leg doesn't become short, but in those days, everybody's leg became short if the leg was operated. Baba's leg also became short. So if you look, okay, I'm coming. Thank you, Yasmin. Thank you. So if you look, now you can see in this slide because it's quite light, but one of the chappals has a platform. Even even in Baba's room, even in Baba's room, yes, even in Baba's room, there's a pair of chappals, and they also have platforms. So if you see a chappal with platform, be it known that this is post operation, because Baba was wearing this chappal. Yes, Yasmin, thank you. Now, the question is whether I give talks in Mandli Hall. Well, yes, I have in the past, and I explained to the audience about everything which is in the Mandli Hall whenever I take the trips. Okay, coming back. Now, for example, someone said, Baba, for example, Kishan Chan Gajwani. Kishan Chan Gajwani once told Baba, Baba, I know a very good kawal. He will entertain you, Baba, let him come. Baba would say, okay, let him come. So kawals would be brought, ghazal singers would be brought, and who's that ghazal singer? Baba's very favorite ghazal singer who came to Baba. She came to Baba and she met Baba here.
Begum Akhtar?
Begum Akhtar, thank you. Who said that?
Me, Sam.
Okay. So Begum Akhtar came here, and Begum Akhtar, now I won't go into the history of Begum Akhtar, but let's say she came here. She came here and she told Baba that, Baba, I would like to sing. And Baba said, Baba said, today I'm not in the mood to hear you, but I would certainly want you and I would certainly like you to come to Guru Prasad in the summer and sing for me. And she said, Baba, pleasure will be mine. I'll be very happy to come, and I'll be very happy to come and sing for you. So Begum Akhtar did come to Guru Prasad, and she did sing before Guru Prasad. She did sing before Baba in Guru Prasad Hall, and I was happy to have heard her. Happy to have heard her at Guru Prasad in front of Baba. So, and then see, the routine was that after it was over, Baba would call the bhajan mandli or the ghazal singers like tabalchi and harmonium player, etc., the chorus guys. Baba would call them one by one, and they would greet Baba, and Baba would greet them. And Baba was very animated. I will always say that Baba was very animated in the sense that Baba was very, very appreciative. If I've learned how to appreciate human beings, this thanks to Baba. Baba was very appreciative. You know, he would do his eyes, gestures, etc., to appreciate either a small baby dancing before Baba, or a harmonium player, or a tabalchi, or a singer. Baba was very animate, very, very animate. And so these guys would come and greet Baba. Baba would kind of give them a hug. But when the main singer came, the main singer or main ghazal singer, whoever, or main performer, Baba would not only greet, but Baba would give him a hanky. I've seen any number of times Baba giving hanky to that main player, main singer. So that is how Baba appreciated. So this happened during normal times. This happened in the Mandli Hall at Merazad. But during summers, when Baba was at Guru Prasad, this kind of programs happened at Guru Prasad Mandli Hall. So it happened at both the places. And yes, therefore the programs did happen. And a lot of Baba lovers who were invited to come to meet Baba, they met Baba at Merazad. Not necessarily only at Pune, Guru Prasad, but they also did meet Baba in the Mandli Hall. That's the place where the visitors came and met Baba. Yeah, Dilshad, go ahead.
Jimmy uncle, am I right in remembering that earlier these windows that we see were also not there since it was a stable?
Yes.
Yes. In this article, it is mentioned, Erech's article. Now, I don't think it could be true, but because Erech said, let's say it is true. What Erech has written is that when Baba was away, one of the Mandli who was the caretaker of Merazad, he said, hey, let's put windows. This is very too claustrophobic, etc. So he told those who were going to Nagar to bring the, in this second-hand, like Chor Bazaar, maybe a month ago.
Just the frame of the window, yes.
Right.
Just the frame of the window.
Yeah, the frame and yes. So they were brought, bought haphazardly. I think that's the right word to use. They were bought haphazardly. They were not made to order. With the result, what happened was, one was a small window, one was a tall window, one was a broad window. So they were brought and unfortunately they were even installed or put haphazardly. So the next time we go to Merazat Hall, let's remember to see these windows placed haphazardly. So this is what Erech has to write. Yes, of course. One second, let me finish. But I have a slight doubt in my mind in the sense that according to me, Mandli never did anything without Baba's permission. I know I'm wrong because Erech said something else contrary to what I'm saying. So Erech is right. But personally, I feel that Baba didn't, the Mandli, male or female, never did anything without Baba's permission. But anyway, Erech is right. Yes, go ahead, sir.
Jimmy uncle, when you say that money and Dr. Gohet would come in once the bell rings, so the quarters of the women Mandli was attached to that this hall that we are talking about, Mandli Hall.
Have you been to Merazat, Dilshad?
Jimmy uncle, you only had taken me, but I had unfortunately could not complete seeing that thing.
Sorry, don't worry. Janice, are you there? Janice?
Yes, uncle.
Yeah, take the first photo again of the garden.
Sure.
Of the garden.
Just a minute, uncle.
Yeah, take your time. It's okay. Dilshad, when the gate of the Mandli Hall opens at the back, I'm talking about the gate, not the door. That difference between door and the gate. When the gate opens, in front of you, you see Baba's cottage. So between Baba's cottage and the Mandli Hall, there is a garden. So you can, in a way, you can say it was part of the estate. It was part of the small estate. From Mandli Hall, you could walk, let's say 70 meters, 80 meters, and you are in the cottage. So that's how it was. Yes. Now this photograph is taken roughly from the gate of the Mandli Hall. Zoom it back, Jenny, zoom it back as far as you can. Yeah. So the photograph is taken from the gate of the Mandli Hall. So that's the only distance between Mandli Hall and the gate. So yeah, it is kind of same property, same area.
So uncle, this staircase wala building is not the Mandli Hall then?
Oh God. This is Baba's cottage. Now let me explain to you. Now,
Sorry.
what you see today, what you see right in front of you is where the women Mandli stayed. Now, I don't have a kind of a cursor to show you, but on the first floor, the right-hand window, do you see on the first floor, the right-hand window with a shade? Yeah, move it right, still right. Yeah, this was Baba's room. Baba stayed here. The women Mandli stayed here on the left, and yeah. No contest that Padri Kaka was here. Padri Kaka was always at Merabad. Okay, So the women monthly stayed up here in a couple of rooms and go down. And behind this, we have been inside on the ground level. I've never gone up, never in my life. I've gone to Merazat 100,000 times. I've never gone up because it is out of bounds. So here inside, there are two rooms, a couple of rooms where the women monthly stay. And take the cursor left to Baba's room. Baba's room, left. Yeah. So from the first floor, one day Baba was coming down the steps, and he was coming. Take the cursor to the steps, and he was coming to the steps. Somewhere here where the cursor is, Baba stumbled. He was about to fall. Now this was after Baba's accident. This was Baba's accident, and he would have had a nasty fall. It would have been quite a drop. So the women monthly prayed to Baba. They cajoled Baba that Baba, please come down. Baba, please come down. You can't stay up anymore. And Baba was rather obstinate. I'm sorry to use the word, but Baba was obstinate. And one day they pleaded with Baba, Baba, please come down. Baba said, okay. The moment Baba said, okay, and from here, he came down, he went to the Mandi hall. Let's say it was 9 o'clock in the morning. He went to Mandi hall. And when he came back at 12 o'clock, he was somewhere here. Take the cursor to the steps. So he was about to climb the steps. He was below the steps. And the women Mali said, Baba, iyan nahi. Baba, iyan jao. So they took him. There's a door from inside also. So they took him from that door where Gohe's bed is today, and they took him in this room, and the furniture was that. Never ever underestimate woman power. I always tell myself, never ever underestimate woman power. It is 100-fold more strong than a man power. So what these women did was, the woman Baba said, okay, I don't know how they did it, but the whole of the furniture from Baba's room was brought down. The whole of the furniture from this room, ground floor room, where whoever said, I don't know who stayed in that bed earlier, bedroom, this was shifted to the first floor from this tiny staircase, and all the furniture from Baba's room, which was on the first floor, was brought in Baba's room. How they did it? The women, go and ask women Monday how they did it. I don't know. It's not recorded. But what is recorded is within 2 hours, women Mandley shifted the furniture. I'm sure they must have called the local man. I don't know if they did, because this was out of bounds for men. But whatever it is, in short, in substance, they moved Baba from first floor to the ground floor. Therefore, do not mix up Mandli Hall with the cottage. So Mandli Hall is where this photograph is taken. It's just a ground floor structure, just a ground floor structure. And by the way, take the cursor to the left, further left. Yeah, this is the original cottage when Baba came. I'm sorry I'm digressing, but I'll finish it. So this cottage was there. The new cottage was not there. So for Baba, this cottage was built. We'll talk about the cottage later some other time. And this was designed by Meramai. The cottage was designed by Meramai. So I think let's wind up. It's already 7:12. Yes, Sam?
I just want to share one more thing.
Please.
Where you mentioned about the cottage and the first floor where nobody has visited. Even I have not been fortunate enough to visit the first floor. Janice, if you can bring back that picture, please, of the cottage. But
Yes.
I've been told that there is trunks and trunks and trunks full of treasure lying in those rooms on the first floor. And can anybody guess what the treasure is all about? It is the collection of the belongings of the mas. Peculiar things like cigarette butts or their bracelets or their kafnis or their pots and pans or whatever the different mas had their quirky habits. All those things were collected and they are now resting in this very first floor, one of the rooms over there in trunks. They are all in trunks. So,
Yeah, Sam, a couple of years back, maybe 3 years back, they were doing the first floor structurally. They were repairing the first floor, and it's a known fact. And I was told that this floor will be thrown open for visitors. And I was dying and I was itching to go up and see the first floor, but I don't know, somehow it was never thrown open, not gone to Mehrabad, Merazat. So in short, let us keep our fingers crossed that one day we go up and see this structure from above. Baba's room, I'm very keen to see Baba's room as it was or whatever it is, but I'm really keen to go up and see this place. If we can talk about this cottage, we can talk about Merazad history, we can talk about blue bus, we can talk about caravan, one at a time, because each one is going to take quite a good time. Everything has a good history behind it.
that's right, Jimmy, that's right.
Okay, I'm through, Sam. Thank you. I'm through. Thank you, Janice.
This place is full of history. It's full of memories. And kind of seeing these pictures makes me feel homesick. Honestly, it does.
Hey, Jimmy, can I add a little bit to your story of Begum Akhtar?
Please go ahead. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Actually,
No, hello, Ram, 1 second. Don't ask me. Don't ask me. I'm not the boss. Ask the boss. Take his
Boss?
comment.
Boss, may I?
No, Sam.
I know, Sam is the boss. So that's what I'm asking him. May I?
I'm not the boss, sir. I'm not the boss, but go ahead, sir.
No, the story I heard, actually, Baba invited Begum Akhtar to come and sing in front of him, and she declined because she was asking for money. So the Manali was not very happy, and Baba said, "Don't worry, she will come around on her own," and that's what happened eventually. Yeah, that's what I wanted to add.
Yeah, Begum Akhtar's fees were, Sam, I'm talking about early 60s. Begum Akhtar's fees were 1,000 rupees per day, from the day she left her home in wherever she was, till such time she returned to her home. So that would be her fees. And Baba said, forget it, she will come on her own. Which she did.
And cried.
Yeah.
And wept. Yes.
Yeah, she did. She clung to Baba's feet. I'm a witness to this. This is not what I've read. I'm a witness to this. She clung to Baba's feet and she cried.
Jai Baba. I was there, 1963.
Are wah, Kundaji.
Wow.
Yeah, I was there when Begum Akhtar was there. She cried and Baba gave handkerchief and wiped her tears.
Are wah.
1963, it is in May. Guru
Which was that ghazal? I can't seem to remember the famous ghazal of Begum Akhtar.
It was "ए मोहब्बत तेरे
रोना आया.
बहुत सारे हैं, लेकिन बाबा's one.
Yeah. This was the favorite.
Amar kahin mano Raja ji.
Yes.
Oh, that was another one. Yes.
That was Lata. Lata used to sing.
No, that is Begum Akhtar's.
Yeah, it is Begum Akhtar's.
Yeah,
yes.
But it was Begum Akhtar's.
Yeah.
those were the days. What can we say more?
Yeah.
Those were the days. Anybody else wants to say anything before we draw the curtain?
Uncle, I would like to say something.
Please, Janet.
A big thank you to Baba, in Jimmy Uncle, you, Ranori Uncle, Kunda Auntie, because when you people share and when you talk all about those days spent with Baba in person, at least I feel, reliving those moments. And it's an amazing way for we who have not seen Baba in person to connect with Baba and feel him more and more within, connected strongly to him. So thank you so much, Baba, and you all. Thank you, Baba.
Janice,
It's our pleasure.
Janice, close your eyes. Janice, close your eyes and focus on him. You'll see him. You'll
Yes,
see him.
yes. Thank you, Uncle.
Though we saw him in person and this and that, I'm talking about myself, I was blind. I was blind to his greatness, to his magnitude, to his being God. I was blind to all that. So, Janice, it's no big deal. I mean, we are all sailing in the same boat, darling. Whether those of us who have seen him, those of us who have not seen him. In fact, Mani Auntie used to say that blessed are those who have faith in Baba in spite of not having seen him. And that's what it's all about. God can be seen anytime, anywhere, anyhow, if you call up to him from the bottom of your heart. That's what I believe in. Tushar Khatale, thank you very much, beloved Baba, for today's session. Jai Baba. Okay. Anybody else wants to say anything? I remember the gestures Baba used to make when this ghazal, Hamari Kahi Mano Raja Ji, he would, at this thing, he would give a beat with one hand, and then whenever they would say Raja Ji, so Baba would do this. Raja Ji, I say. And it was a wonderful sight. It was envy for God to see the Lord enjoying and being entertained and entertaining all the other listeners around him when he kept doing this, and all his hand gestures and everything. It was just superb. And most of the times, people focused more on him than on all these singers. The singers were there and they would sing, and Baba would, appreciate them when they would get up, and that is when they would come into picture. But otherwise, at least that is what the atmosphere was all about. The focus, everybody's eyes were fixed on him and him alone, most of the times. Of course, some monkeys like me would, wander around and look here and there, but otherwise, everybody's focus was on him and him alone, because he was someone worthy of that. He was worthy of that. And in fact, sometimes he would go out of his way and remind people that please don't waste your time looking here and there. These opportunities will not come again and again all the time. So make the most of whatever you have in my presence. Make the most of it. Some of us did, some of us didn't. But then that's the way the cookie crumbles. Janice, anything else anybody wants to say?
Harvey,
Haji, go ahead.
just tell you that what you just said was so true. You met Baba, you all met Baba, you all spent time with him, and he told you all don't waste time appreciate him while he was around. Today, I would say the same thing to us who can hear a story from you all. Don't let's waste time. Let's appreciate the stories you are telling us, because I can tell you, they really make you feel good. So
Yeah,
thank
Sudha.
you, sir.
Oh, you really made our day, actually.
No, but it's true.
Yeah.
It's just what you said. Baba told you all that. I'm telling you that.
The circle is complete now. Yeah.
Yeah, because how do we learn about Baba and his existence at that period unless you tell us the stories?
The most stupid part of it all is, I'm talking about myself now. I tend to take him for granted at that time. Baba is there and he's seated there and yeah, and this and that. Never ever
Took it
give him
seriously.
the reverence or the, of course, sometimes we wept and a lot of things happened when we went near him for darshan, etc., etc. But beyond that, we didn't really, at least I didn't realize his magnitude, his greatness. And perhaps that is also part of his greatness, that he contained and not make a fool like me go gaga over everything, and so I don't know. Those were the things.
But it's the same, Sam. We take everything granted. But I'll tell you, I'm grateful for your Thursday session when you speak about him. So thank you.
Thank him because
Thank you.
he is the doer.
Sam,
He's the doer.
Yeah.
He is the doer of it all. We are just his puppets dancing around.
Sam, I'm not so sure, we take him for granted, but definitely you can call it, well, it's faith and belief in him.
Yes.
100% faith.
Yeah. I can't forget what this girl spoke, this Pavri girl, what's her name? Michelle. When she called out, when her knee was turned and twisted, and when she called out from the bottom of her heart, help arrived. Instantly. Help arrived instantly. This is what Meher Baba is all about. When he says that once you become mine, and when you call out to me, I dare not, care not. I dare not, care not. Well, folks, he's cared for us thus far. He's cared for us thus far. And I firmly believe that he will, I can only talk about myself now, he will definitely see me through till the very end. The very end, not of this life, perhaps of many other lives, if that is what I'm destined for. But until I merge in him, he will not abandon me. He will not abandon me. One loud shout from the bottom of our heart, and he will be there. There is a message from Jay, whom I would just like to say, stay strong and call out to him as much as you can, and everything will be sorted out. Every night before you go to sleep regarding your problems, every night before you go to sleep, the last thing that you should say is, this is my own, I'm not quoting anybody. Last thing that you should say is, Meher Baba, please help me, guide me, and protect me. That's it. Help me, guide me, and protect me. Thank you, Jay, for joining in, and I'm sure you will receive his help shortly. Tar Meher Baba ki Jai. Janice?
Uncle Aarti.
Are, see, what would I do without you, Janice? Honestly. Okay, who wants to do the Aarti today? I want somebody else. Yasmin Haradwala, can you do it, please?
Buchave?
Anything, whichever comes to you, your mind.
Buchave. एकर खुद रखने फरमातु छेलागी आश भक्तों ने के बख्शे नूरे ईमतु अयामुर सद मेहर बाबा चरण पर तुझने धरिए सर खुदा ना साथ थी वाके बधाई बे तू मेहर बातू तुझे माँ लिख की कतनो तू आशिक पीने और भी तुझे दरी याई बेहदत माँ रे फतनो हुई तूफातू हमूरे है रब ने ये साले कबख्शे यानी सदनों के तुझ पर मातमा ज्ञानी छेने मो तारे रफातू खुदाना प्रेम नो प्यालो पिलावी मस्त हमने कर के तुझ पर जान सर के साकिया पीते पैमा तू हमारी नाव भर दरिए तरावे तू हमें तरिए हमारा ना खुदा ए मेहर बाबा चैन के बातू हमारा ना खुदा ए मेहर बाबा चैन के बातू बुझावे मार ज़हलतनी ए कर खुद रत्ने फरमातू छेलागी आश भक्तों ने के बख्शे नूरी मातू अवतार मेहर बाबा की जय
Yasmin, I didn't know you had such a lovely voice. Or was it Baba taking over and making you sing this? But you sang this aarti very beautifully. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Totally agree, Sam Uncle. Very nicely sung by Yasmin. Thank you, Yasmin.
Also gave us the feel of being at the Samadhi because her display picture was Samadhi picture. So thank you, Yasmin auntie.
Whosoever gets Dilshad's approval means khalas. Exam ma pass. Okay.
Mari can catch on Samanka.
It's time to draw the curtain. So Janice, dukan band kar, please.
Yes, uncle. Thank you, Baba, for this wonderful evening. Everybody stay safe, take care. Till we meet again next week.
Stay healthy, stay healthy. And
Stay
Baba's
healthy.
love, have his protection around you. He will keep you healthy. See, Ram is already healthy. He's doing his head now. Okay, Jai Baba, everybody. And be healthy and happy, Madhuri. Jai Baba. Jai Baba.
Okay, Baba Nagipaan,
Hey,
everyone.
Baba.
Yeah, I'll end the meeting now.
Yes, ma'am.
Avtar Meher Baba ki
Baba ki
jai.
jai.
Avtar Meher Baba
Meher
ki
Baba
jai.
ki jai.
Avtar Meher Baba ki jai.
Thank you.
Thank you, Baba.